The NBA just made a shocking discovery about Vanessa Bryant's pregnancy, and people are losing it. For weeks, her pregnancy has dominated basketball gossip.
That Vanessa Bryant, the widow of Kobe Bryant, was pregnant.
Now that discovery has fans bracing for an even bigger scandal because it involves the NBA player rumored to be responsible. Let's get into the shocking revelation that rocked the NBA. The perfect storm that had been brewing for decades finally erupted in late May 2025 when the basketball world was rocked by allegations so explosive, so scandalous, and so perfectly aligned with the pattern of controversies that had followed Vanessa Bryant throughout her life that they seemed almost inevitable. What emerged wasn't just a simple pregnancy allegation, it was a carefully constructed narrative that drew upon every controversial thread from her past, every suspicious relationship, and every family betrayal to create a story that would divide the sports world and reveal the true nature of celebrity culture in the digital age.
The internet has been crazy the last couple of days about this Vanessa Bryant story. I know y'all have heard it at this point. There was a rumor going on for the last 3 or 4 days that Vanessa Bryant, the widow of Kobe Bryant, was pregnant.
Rumors about Vanessa Bryant being pregnant began surfacing in late May 2025, primarily on social media platforms. They gained traction in early June, but these weren't random speculations emerging from nowhere. The initial reports were carefully crafted to exploit every vulnerability in Vanessa's public image. Speculation that she was expecting her 5th child, possibly with a younger basketball player or NBA star, immediately triggered memories of all the previous controversies involving age gaps, family dysfunction, and questionable relationship choices that had characterized her entire adult life.
Then there was another rumor that she was not only pregnant, but potentially pregnant by a young baller, basketball player.
A young baller.
That was the quote that was in the news. It said a young baller. I'm assuming they meant basketball player.
The genius of the allegation campaign was in how it combined multiple explosive elements into a single, devastating narrative. The pregnancy allegation itself was scandalous enough, suggesting that the grieving widow had not only moved on from her deceased husband, but had done so in the most dramatic way possible. But the additional suggestion that the father might be a young baller added layers of age gap scandal, potential gold-digging behavior, and the ultimate betrayal of Kobe's memory. Dramatic narratives implying scandal, such as infidelity to Kobe's memory or involvement with figures like LeBron James, began to circulate, with some versions of the story suggesting connections to some of the biggest names in basketball. The inclusion of established NBA superstars in the speculation elevated the story, from simple gossip to potential league-wide scandal that threatened to implicate multiple players and organizations. The social media ecosystem proved to be the perfect vehicle for spreading these explosive allegations. These rumors spread rapidly via social media platforms. YouTube videos and Facebook posts amassed views by using shocking thumbnails and unverified claims. The algorithmic systems that govern these platforms were perfectly designed to amplify controversial content, ensuring that the most scandalous versions of the story received the widest distribution. The involvement of Pau Gasol in the speculation added a particularly devastating dimension to the scandal.
It is my honor to introduce my dear friend Pau tonight. Pau was special to Kobe, as a teammate, as a man, and as a friend.
Speculation quickly pivoted to Gasol in some online circles, amplifying negative perceptions rooted in misogyny, parasocial entitlement, and betrayal narratives tied to Kobe's memory. The suggestion that Vanessa might be pregnant by one of Kobe's closest friends represented the ultimate betrayal of brotherhood and loyalty that sports fans hold sacred. The Gasol connection was particularly damaging because of the established pattern of suspicious behavior between their families. Posts and videos from as early as February 2024 questioned if they were dating, with titles like "Vanessa Bryant and Pau Gasol's relationship comes under scrutiny." The pre-existing speculation about their relationship provided a foundation of credibility that made the pregnancy rumors seem like the logical next step in an ongoing scandal. The timing of various public interactions between Vanessa and Gasol was re-examined through the lens of the pregnancy rumors, with observers finding suspicious meaning in previously innocent moments. The families frequently vacationed together, such as a March 2025 ski trip where Vanessa shared intimate photos of the group, sparking emotional fan reactions about their closeness. What had been presented as family friendship was now reinterpreted as evidence of a romantic relationship that had been hiding in plain sight. But the Gasol speculation was just one thread in the complex web of allegations that emerged during this period. The connection to Jaylen Brown created an entirely different but equally explosive narrative that tapped into different cultural anxieties and stereotypes. The young baller, referenced in the 2025 Vanessa Bryant pregnancy rumors, widely speculated to be Jaylen Brown, a 28-year-old NBA All-Star all-star forward for the Boston Celtics. The Brown rumors were particularly inflammatory because they combined multiple scandalous elements into a single narrative. The 15-year age gap between Vanessa and Brown triggered immediate comparisons to her original relationship with Kobe, suggesting a pattern of predatory behavior involving much younger men. The age difference became a particular point of contention, with the 15-year gap becoming symbolic of broader cultural tensions about appropriate behavior for widows. The suggestion that she might be involved with Brown also played into racist and classist stereotypes about older women seeking younger, more virile partners. At 6'6" inches and 223 pounds, Brown is often called a baller in slang for his on-court style and off-court influence. He's not traditionally young in NBA terms, but fits the rumor's description as a rising star under 30. The emphasis on his physical attributes and athletic prowess suggested that Vanessa's alleged attraction was purely superficial and sexual, reinforcing negative stereotypes about her character and motivations. The financial implications of a potential relationship with Brown also became a source of speculation and criticism. Brown's net worth is estimated at $60, $80 million, bolstered by endorsements from brands like Nike and Beats by Dre. The fact that Brown was extraordinarily wealthy in his own right complicated the usual gold digger narrative, but also suggested that Vanessa might be seeking to maintain her lifestyle through strategic relationship choices. The coordination and sophistication of the rumor campaign became apparent as multiple platforms simultaneously promoted similar narratives with consistent messaging and framing. YouTube videos and Facebook posts with titles like "Vanessa Bryant called out for getting pregnant after Kobe" amassed views through shocking thumbnails and unverified claims. The synchronized nature of this content suggested that this wasn't organic speculation, but a deliberate campaign designed to damage Vanessa's reputation. The reaction from the basketball community was swift and brutal, revealing the depth of anger and betrayal that fans felt at the suggestion that Vanessa had moved on in such a scandalous manner. X posts expressed outrage, with users expressing sentiments like "Vanessa Bryant being pregnant is fucking nuts, man. Kobe, YE." The emotional intensity of these reactions revealed the parasocial relationship that fans had developed with the Bryant family and their sense of personal betrayal at the allegations.
Could be pregnant. I even saw, Flip, I seen your tweet. Where you were like, it better been, if she's pregnant, it better be from like some like some old.
I mean, it's Kobe, man.
A frozen egg. Right?
I mean, it's an unspoken rule, amongst in the community.
The gendered nature of the criticism became immediately apparent, with much of the harshest commentary coming from male fans who seemed to view Vanessa's alleged behavior as a personal affront to their own loyalties and beliefs about appropriate feminine behavior. Comments included misogynistic tropes like "there'd be no Vanessa Bryant without Kobe," or calls for her to KYS, kill yourself. These reactions revealed uncomfortable truths about how some fans viewed women primarily as extensions of their famous husbands, rather than as independent individuals with their own rights and agency. The racial dynamics of the criticism also became apparent, with some of the harshest commentary focusing on the interracial aspects of her alleged relationships. The suggestion that she had moved from one black athlete to another was interpreted by some as evidence of a particular type of opportunistic behavior that reinforced harmful stereotypes about interracial relationships and the motivations of non-black women who dated black athletes. The family dysfunction that had characterized Vanessa's relationships for decades provided additional context that made the pregnancy rumors seem credible to many observers. The long-standing feuds with Kobe's family and tensions with her own family, particularly her mother Sophia Lane, provided a backdrop that made the pregnancy rumors seem like another chapter in an ongoing saga. The pattern of family betrayals and legal battles suggested that Vanessa was capable of the kind of shocking behavior that the rumors alleged. The response from Vanessa herself became the most crucial element in determining how the scandal would ultimately be resolved.
Fortunately, earlier in the week, Vanessa came out to clear up the rumor. She said, "I'm enjoying my summer, not pregnant." Basically like I'm ignoring the rest of the rumors.
On June 1st, 2025, Vanessa Bryant directly addressed the rumors via her Instagram stories, effectively shutting them down with humor and assertiveness. The timing was perfect. A Sunday evening when social media engagement peaks, ensuring maximum visibility for her message. But it wasn't just the timing that made her response so effective. It was the masterful way she chose to communicate her truth. Rather than issuing a formal statement through representatives or engaging in lengthy explanations that might have legitimized the speculation, Vanessa chose a different path entirely. She posted a meme of Rihanna in a pool, flipping off the camera, captioned, "Me protecting my peace, not pregnant and having fun all summer." The image was accompanied by Tupac's "All Eyes on Me," a song choice that seemed deliberately chosen to underscore her awareness of the constant surveillance she lived under while simultaneously declaring her independence from it. The brilliance of this response cannot be overstated. In a single Instagram story, Vanessa managed to address the rumors head on while simultaneously refusing to dignify them with excessive attention. The use of Rihanna's image was particularly powerful. Rihanna, another woman who had faced intense public scrutiny and had consistently maintained her autonomy and strength in the face of it, served as the perfect avatar for Vanessa's message. But Vanessa wasn't finished. A follow-up meme of Rihanna read, "I'm not mean, I'm just not the one." This second message drove home the point that she wasn't going to be manipulated, controlled, or defined by public opinion. The phrase, "I'm just not the one," carried multiple layers of meaning. She wasn't the one to be controlled. She wasn't the one to accept disrespect, and she certainly wasn't the one to allow others to dictate the terms of her existence. The final piece of her response was perhaps the most revealing of her character and values. She added a motivational quote, "The only way to impress me is by being a good person. I don't care what you have, what you wear, where you live, or what you drive. I just have deep respect for people with pure hearts and good intentions." This wasn't just a response to pregnancy rumors. It was a statement of values that revealed what truly mattered to her in the aftermath of unimaginable loss. The reaction to Vanessa's response was immediate and explosive. Social media platforms erupted with commentary, analysis, and debate about her choice to address the rumors in this particular way. These posts were widely covered by reputable outlets, confirming the rumors were baseless. Major news organizations that had been carefully watching the situation suddenly had a clear narrative to follow. The rumors were false, and Vanessa had addressed them with characteristic strength and grace. What made her response so effective was the way it demonstrated complete control over her own narrative. Rather than being reactive or defensive, she had chosen to be proactive and dismissive, treating the rumors with exactly the level of seriousness they deserved, which was none at all. The humor in her approach was disarming, making it difficult for critics to continue attacking her without appearing petty or unreasonable. The choice to use Instagram stories rather than a permanent post was also strategically brilliant. Stories disappear after 24 hours, which meant her response would have immediate impact without becoming a permanent part of the conversation. This demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of social media dynamics and showed that she understood how to use these platforms as tools rather than being used by them. The public reaction to Vanessa's response revealed deep divisions in how people viewed her situation and her right to privacy. Supporters defended her right to move on, noting Kobe's death was over 5 years ago.
The rule is, I mean, of course, in life, she's supposed to move on. She can live her life and stuff like that. I mean, it's been 5 years and all that. And that's her choice, if that was true.
Posts expressing sentiments like women shouldn't be expected to halt their lives indefinitely after a spouse's death gained significant traction, revealing that many people recognize the unfair expectations that had been placed on her. However, the response also brought out critics who felt that her approach was somehow inappropriate or disrespectful. Some expressed disappointment, viewing it as disrespect to Kobe's memory, with comments suggesting that there would be no Vanessa Bryant without Kobe Bryant. These reactions revealed the deeply problematic way that some people viewed Vanessa not as an individual with her own identity and rights, but as an extension of her deceased husband. The media analysis of her response was overwhelmingly positive, with many outlets praising her for taking control of the narrative and refusing to be victimized by baseless speculation. Articles from Us Weekly, News emphasized her denial and focus on family, highlighting how she had managed to address the situation while maintaining her dignity and protecting her children from unnecessary drama. The effectiveness of her response became even more apparent in the days that followed. Vanessa appeared publicly shortly after, for example, at a New York Liberty game with her daughters, looking unchanged, further disproving any pregnancy. These public appearances served as visual confirmation of what she had already stated, making it impossible for the rumors to continue gaining traction. What made Vanessa's response particularly powerful was the way it highlighted the broader issue of how society treats women, particularly widows, in the public eye. Her message about protecting her peace resonated with countless women who had experienced similar invasions of privacy and unfair judgments about their personal choices. The phrase "protecting my peace" became a rallying cry for those who recognize the importance of mental health and emotional boundaries in an age of constant connectivity and surveillance. The response also revealed something important about the evolution of celebrity culture and public communication. Rather than relying on traditional media gatekeepers or formal statements, Vanessa had chosen to speak directly to her audience using the same platforms that had been used to spread rumors about her. This direct communication model represented a shift in power dynamics, showing how public figures could take control of their narratives rather than being passive subjects of media speculation. The incident also revealed the particular challenges faced by women in maintaining their autonomy and independence in a culture that often seeks to define them through their relationships with men. Vanessa's response demonstrated that she refused to be defined solely as Kobe's widow, instead asserting her identity as an individual with her own thoughts, feelings, and right to privacy. The broader conversation about Vanessa's situation was also captured in popular media, including a Joe Budden podcast discussion where the host and guest debated the public's reaction to the rumors.
We know that part's not true. What's interesting to me, though, is people's reaction to it. Like, people were bent out of shape, especially dudes were like really, really bent out of shape at the idea that Vanessa Bryant could be pregnant. I even saw
The discussion continued with one participant explaining the cultural expectations placed on widows, stating,
So they're supposed to walk around in public with black veils and black dresses and just
Widows
be in
for
a
life.
constant state of mourning for the rest of their lives.
Well, that's extreme, but I would want your business to be private.
This podcast discussion revealed the deep-seated cultural attitudes that Vanessa was confronting with her response. The expectation that she should remain in a state of perpetual mourning wasn't just coming from random internet trolls. It was reflective of broader cultural attitudes about widowhood, loyalty, and the ownership that fans feel they have over the personal lives of public figures. The ultimate resolution of the scandal came not through legal action or formal investigations, but through the gradual loss of interest as the social media ecosystem moved on to new targets and controversies. The rumors eventually collapsed under the weight of their own contradictions and the lack of credible evidence, but the damage to relationships and reputations had already been done. The lasting impact of the scandal would be felt for years to come, influencing how Vanessa was perceived by the public and how she approached her relationships in public. Appearances. The incident served as a stark reminder of the price of fame and the vulnerability of public figures to coordinated attacks on their character and reputation. The basketball community was left to grapple with uncomfortable questions about loyalty, judgment, and the treatment of grieving families. The ease with which even close friends and former teammates could become subjects of scandalous speculation revealed the fragility of relationships within the sports world and the power of social media to destroy bonds that had been built over decades of shared experiences. As the dust settled from this explosive scandal, one thing remained clear. The web of controversies that had followed Vanessa Bryant throughout her adult life had finally culminated in a moment that tested every assumption about loyalty, grief, and the limits of public tolerance for celebrity misbehavior. Whether she would be able to rebuild her reputation and relationships remained to be seen, but the events of 2025 had permanently altered the landscape of her public life and the legacy of one of basketball's most iconic families. The web of controversies that built the perfect storm. When the basketball world erupted in May 2025 with explosive rumors about Vanessa Bryant's alleged pregnancy, it wasn't just another celebrity gossip story. To understand why these pregnancy allegations sent such devastating shockwaves through the NBA community and beyond, we must first unravel the complex web of controversies that had been following Vanessa Bryant for over 2 decades, creating the perfect storm for what would become one of the most divisive stories in sports history. The foundation of controversy surrounding Vanessa Bryant was laid from the very beginning of her relationship with Kobe Bryant, starting with circumstances that would raise eyebrows and generate whispers for years to come. In November 1999, Kobe met Vanessa on the set of a music video for Thais Sidaz's Geet Up, where she worked as a background dancer while still in high school. The age dynamic immediately became a source of speculation and concern. Kobe was 21 and an emerging NBA superstar, while Vanessa was just 17 and finishing her senior year at Marina High School. This age gap would become a recurring theme in the controversies that surrounded their relationship. Critics highlight the 4-year age difference and Vanessa's minor status at meeting, with unsubstantiated rumors her family pressured, marriage to avoid statutory charges. While no formal allegations were ever made, the whispers and implications followed the couple throughout their relationship, with some suggesting that the rushed engagement and marriage were motivated by more than just love. The speed of their courtship only added fuel to these fires of speculation. Engaged by May 2000, Vanessa's 18th birthday, they married on April 18, 2001 at St. Edward the Confessor Catholic Church in Dana Point, California, in a small ceremony attended by about 12 people. What should have been a joyous celebration became the first major family controversy when Kobe's parents made a decision that would create a rift lasting for years. Kobe's parents, Joe and Pamela Bryant, opposed the marriage due to Vanessa's Latina background. They reportedly preferred an African-American daughter-in-law, her young age, 17 when they met, 18 at engagement, the lack of a prenuptial agreement, and the couple's rapid courtship. They did not attend the 2001 wedding, leading to a 2-year estrangement. This snub wasn't just a private family matter. It became public knowledge and set the tone for years of family drama that would play out in the media. The racial dynamics of this disapproval added another layer of complexity to the controversy surrounding Vanessa. In a society already sensitive to issues of interracial relationships, the suggestion that Kobe's African-American parents disapproved of his Latina wife because of her ethnicity created uncomfortable conversations about colorism, racial preferences, and family loyalty within the Black community. These tensions would simmer beneath the surface for years, occasionally erupting into public view during family disputes and reconciliation attempts. But the family drama was just the beginning of Vanessa's controversial journey. The real earthquake came in 2003 when Kobe was accused of sexual assault, dragging Vanessa into one of the most high-profile and divisive legal cases in sports history.
Kobe Bryant,
is innocent of the charges that were filed against him today. He stands falsely accused of an extremely serious crime, a crime that carries with it the potential of a life sentence.
Kobe Bryant is innocent of the charges that were filed against him today. He stands falsely accused of an extremely serious crime, a crime that carries with it the potential of a life sentence. Kobe was accused of raping a 19-year-old hotel employee in Colorado. Charges were dropped when the accuser refused to testify. A civil suit settled out of court. Kobe admitted to adultery but denied assault, apologizing publicly with Vanessa by his side. Vanessa's response to this crisis would become one of the most controversial aspects of her public persona. Vanessa defended Kobe, calling it a mistake of adultery. Her decision to stand by her husband during this scandal drew both praise and criticism. Supporters saw her as a loyal wife standing by her man during his darkest hour, while critics questioned whether she was enabling his behavior or prioritizing financial security over principles. The aftermath of the assault case revealed the transactional nature that some observers began to associate with their relationship. Kobe bought her a $4 million purple diamond ring as a gesture of remorse, leading to cynical commentary about whether their marriage was based on love or financial arrangement. This expensive gesture of apology became symbolic of what critics saw as a pattern of Kobe using material gifts to smooth over relationship problems. The controversies weren't limited to external pressures and legal troubles. Within their own extended family circle, Vanessa found herself at the center of another explosive situation. Vanessa accused Lakers teammate Karl Malone of inappropriate comments and advances toward her at a game. Malone denied it, but Kobe confronted him publicly. This incident in 2004 painted Vanessa as someone who attracted drama even within Kobe's professional circle, with some media outlets portraying her as a troublemaker who brought unnecessary complications to her husband's career. Interviewer:
in your mind, as you see things, did Karl Malone make a pass at your wife?
You know what? I know what took place. I wasn't fine with that. That didn't sit well with me at all.
The Karl Malone incident was particularly damaging because it involved one of the most respected veterans in the NBA at the time. This fueled media portrayals of Vanessa as a drama queen. Kobe defended her, strengthening their unity, but adding to NBA feud narratives. The incident created divisions within the Lakers organization and contributed to a narrative that Vanessa was high maintenance and difficult to deal with. Personal tragedies also became sources of public speculation and controversy. Vanessa suffered a miscarriage in 2005 due to an ectopic pregnancy amid the assault case aftermath. Even this deeply personal loss became fodder for public discussion, with some observers questioning the timing and others speculating about the stress of the legal proceedings on her health and well-being. The controversies extended beyond the basketball court into Vanessa's personal staff and household management. Former housekeeper Maria Jimenez sued Vanessa for verbal abuse and harassment, alleging demeaning treatment like forcing her to handle dog feces. This 2009 lawsuit painted a picture of Vanessa as an entitled and abusive employer, settling out of court but painting Vanessa negatively in tabloids. These workplace allegations added another dimension to the controversy surrounding Vanessa, suggesting that her behavior toward those in subordinate positions was problematic. The lawsuit's details, while never proven in court, contributed to a growing narrative about Vanessa's character and treatment of others, particularly those who worked for her family. The most explosive family controversy erupted in 2011 when the couple's marriage appeared to reach its breaking point.
It has been a tough week for Lakers superstar Kobe Bryant. First, he loses teammate Lamar Odom to a trade. Then today, his wife of 10 and a half years filed for divorce. All this as the Lakers prepare for a brand new season.
Vanessa filed for divorce in December 2011, citing irreconcilable differences amid rumors of Kobe's multiple affairs. No prenup meant potential asset splits. This filing came at a particularly strategic time, after 10 years of marriage, which in California would qualify her for lifetime alimony. The timing of the divorce filing led to widespread accusations that Vanessa was a gold digger who had calculated her departure to maximize her financial benefit. During the 2011 divorce filing, Vanessa was labeled a gold digger for the timing, after 10 years, qualifying for lifetime alimony in California. The fact that she filed for divorce just after crossing the 10-year threshold that would entitle her to permanent spousal support seemed too convenient to be coincidental to many observers. The divorce proceedings became a media circus, with every detail of their financial arrangements and personal disagreements becoming public fodder. The lack of a prenuptial agreement meant that Vanessa could potentially claim half of everything Kobe had earned during their marriage, including his massive NBA contracts and endorsement deals. Rapper Drake referenced it in lyrics, and fans criticized her potential $75 million settlement. However, in a surprising turn of events that would add another layer to the controversy surrounding their relationship, they reconciled in 2013, with Vanessa posting on Instagram, "We are pleased to announce that we have reconciled." This reconciliation raised new questions about the motivations behind both the divorce filing and the subsequent reunion. The reconciliation sparked its own set of controversies hypotheses and conspiracy theories. Some observers suggested that the divorce filing had been a calculated move to renegotiate the terms of their relationship, forcing Kobe to recommit to their marriage under threat of losing half his wealth. Others speculated that the reconciliation was purely financial, designed to preserve their combined assets and avoid the costly division that a divorce would have required. Throughout all of these controversies, a pattern began to emerge that would later influence how the pregnancy rumors were received by the public. Vanessa had consistently been portrayed as someone who was calculating, opportunistic, and willing to use her position as Kobe's wife to advance her own interests. Whether these portrayals were fair or accurate became irrelevant. They had created a public perception that would color every subsequent controversy involving her. The family feuds that had begun with their wedding continued to fester and occasionally erupt into public view. Tensions flared again in 2013 when Joe and Pamela attempted to auction Kobe's personal memorabilia, including his high school uniforms and 2000 NBA championship ring valued at over $1.5 million, without his permission. This attempt to profit from Kobe's career without his consent created another major family rift and painted his parents as opportunistic and financially motivated. Kobe sued them, claiming the items were his property, and won the case, forcing a public apology from his parents. The lawsuit and subsequent apology revealed the depth of the family dysfunction and suggested that financial motivations were a driving force in many of the family's interactions. The fact that Kobe felt compelled to sue his own parents to protect his property rights highlighted the toxic nature of these family relationships. The memorabilia controversy also indirectly implicated Vanessa, as some observers suggested that she had influenced Kobe's decision to pursue legal action against his parents. Whether or not this was true, it added to the narrative that Vanessa was a divisive force within the Bryant family who prioritized financial interests over family harmony. As Kobe's career progressed and their family grew, new controversies continued to emerge. The birth of their daughters should have been joyous occasions, but even these events became sources of speculation and criticism. They welcomed Gianna in 2006 as a rainbow baby after the miscarriage, but even this blessing was viewed through the lens of their troubled relationship and the controversies that surrounded them. The pattern of controversies created a public perception of Vanessa that was deeply unflattering and would prove difficult to overcome. She was seen as calculating, opportunistic, divisive, and willing to prioritize financial gain over loyalty and family harmony. But the most devastating controversy was yet to come, one that would involve her own mother and reveal the extent to which financial disagreements and family dysfunction had infected even her closest relationships. The stage was set for what would become the most explosive and divisive chapter in the ongoing saga of Vanessa Bryant's controversial public life. The death of Kobe and Gianna Bryant in January 2020 should have been a time for family unity and support during Vanessa's darkest hour. Instead, it became the catalyst for the most shocking betrayal in her already controversy-filled life. A betrayal that would come from the person she should have been able to trust most, her own mother. This devastating family warfare, combined with increasingly suspicious relationships that raised eyebrows throughout the basketball community, would set the stage for the explosive pregnancy rumors that would rock the sports world in 2025. The ink was barely dry on Kobe's death certificate when the most unthinkable betrayal began to unfold. Sophia Lane, the woman who had raised Vanessa and should have been her greatest source of comfort during her grief, was quietly calculating how to monetize her daughter's tragedy. In December 2020, Sophia sued Vanessa for fraud, seeking $5 million in back pay for allegedly working as an unpaid personal assistant and nanny for 18 years. The timing was breathtaking in its cruelty. Less than a year after losing her husband and daughter, Vanessa found herself being sued by her own mother for millions of dollars. The details of Sophia's lawsuit painted a picture of a woman who had been systematically planning this legal action, possibly for years. She claimed Kobe had orally promised lifelong financial support, which Vanessa reneged on after his death. The suggestion that Sophia had been relying on verbal promises from her son-in-law for her financial security raised immediate questions about her motivations and the true nature of her relationship with the family. Vanessa's response to her mother's lawsuit was swift and devastating, revealing the depth of her hurt and anger at this ultimate betrayal. Vanessa responded harshly, calling the lawsuit frivolous, disgraceful, and unimaginably hurtful, denying any employment or promises, and accusing Sophia of extortion. The use of the word extortion was particularly significant, suggesting that Vanessa believed her mother was using the threat of public embarrassment and legal action to extract money from her during her most vulnerable time. My mother is continuing to try and find ways to extort a financial windfall from our family. I have supported her for nearly 20 years, and she was never my or Kobe's personal assistant, nor was she a nanny. I have always been a stay-at-home mother, and my husband and I were our daughter's full-time caregivers. The public nature of this family feud was shocking even by the standards of the Bryant family's previous controversies. She stated Sophia was supported rent-free in a Newport Beach property and only occasionally babysat, not full-time. Vanessa's detailed rebuttal revealed that her mother had been living a comfortable lifestyle, supported supported by the Bryant family's wealth, making her financial demands seem even more opportunistic and ungrateful. The lawsuit exposed uncomfortable truths about the transactional nature of relationships within the Bryant family circle. Sophia's claim that she had been working as an unpaid employee for 18 years suggested that she viewed her relationship with her daughter and son-in-law primarily through a financial lens. The fact that she waited until after Kobe's death to make these claims raised obvious questions about whether she had been planning this legal action while he was alive, but had been too intimidated by his presence and legal resources to proceed. The suit was settled unconditionally in August 2021 in Orange County Superior Court, with terms kept private. The quick settlement and the confidential terms suggested that both sides had compelling reasons to avoid a prolonged public battle. The settlement, however, did not heal the family wounds or restore trust between mother and daughter. The damage had been done, and the public now had another data point in their assessment of Vanessa's character and the dysfunction that seemed to follow her wherever she went. Critics pointed to the lawsuit as evidence that even her own family viewed her as difficult and untrustworthy, while supporters saw it as another example of people trying to exploit her wealth and vulnerability. But while Vanessa was dealing with betrayal from her own mother, she was simultaneously developing what many observers considered to be suspiciously close relationships with men from Kobe's inner circle. The most prominent and controversial of these relationships was with Pau Gasol, Kobe's former teammate and close friend. What began as a supportive friendship during her time of grief gradually evolved into something that raised eyebrows and generated whispers throughout the basketball community.
It is my honor to introduce my dear friend Pau tonight. Pau was special to Kobe, as a teammate, as a man, and as a friend.
Vanessa Bryant and Pau Gasol share a deep platonic friendship that has grown stronger since the tragic death of Kobe Bryant and their daughter Gianna. The official narrative presented this as a wholesome friendship between a grieving widow and her late husband's loyal teammate who was helping to support her family. However, the intensity and intimacy of their relationship began to generate speculation about whether their connection went beyond mere friendship.
Thank you for being here. I know, can't begin to tell her how much it means to me. I love you, sister. I'm proud to be your brother. I'm proud to be an uncle to your lovely girls.
The public displays of their closeness became increasingly difficult to ignore. Gasol has acted as an uncle figure to the Bryant children. For instance, he stayed with the family shortly after the crash and has continued to be involved in their lives. While this level of involvement could be explained as the actions of a devoted family friend, the frequency and intimacy of their interactions began to raise questions about the nature of their relationship. The naming of Gasol's daughter provided perhaps the most compelling evidence of the unusual closeness between the families. He named his daughter Elisabeth Gianna Gasol in 2022 as a tribute to Gianna, and Vanessa has reciprocated with gestures like gifting personalized items honoring Gigi. The decision to name his child after Gianna was touching, but it also demonstrated a level of emotional intimacy and shared grief that went beyond typical friendship. Their frequent vacations and public appearances together began to generate increasing speculation. The families frequently vacationed together, such as a March 2025 ski trip where Vanessa shared intimate photos of the group. These intimate family vacations, where Gasol and his wife Catherine became integrated into what appeared to be Vanessa's immediate family circle, created an unusual dynamic that observers found difficult to categorize. The romantic gestures between the families became increasingly obvious and difficult to explain as mere friendship. Gasol and his wife sent Vanessa a bouquet of roses for her 24th wedding anniversary with Kobe in April 2025, with Vanessa posting a heartfelt thank you on Instagram. The decision to send roses, a traditionally romantic flower, for her wedding anniversary with Kobe was a gesture that many found inappropriate and suspicious, regardless of whether Gasol's wife was involved in the gesture. The birthday tributes and public declarations of love became increasingly intense and emotional. Vanessa honored Gasol's 45th birthday in July 2025 with an Instagram post calling him Hermano and sharing a photo of Natalia wearing a love necklace. The use of the term hermano, brother in Spanish, was particularly significant as it suggested a level of familial intimacy that went beyond typical friendship. The speculation about Vanessa and Gasol's relationship was further fueled by their behavior during public events. During Gasol's Lakers jersey retirement in March 2023, he thanked Vanessa and the Bryant family in his speech, highlighting their continued connection. The emotional intensity of their public interactions and the way they looked at each other during these events generated increasing commentary about whether their relationship had evolved beyond friendship. Even before the pregnancy rumors emerged, their relationship had become a source of speculation and gossip. Long before the pregnancy allegations, their closeness drew suspicion. discussion. Posts and videos from as early as February 2024 questioned if they were dating. The persistent nature of these rumors suggested that many observers had noticed something unusual about their dynamic that went beyond typical friendship or family support. When the pregnancy rumors exploded in May 2025, Gasol immediately became a prime suspect as the potential father. The rumors amplified double standards, with critics accusing Vanessa of moving on too fast or dishonoring Kobe by associating closely with his former teammate. The idea that she might be pregnant by one of Kobe's closest friends added a layer of perceived betrayal that made the rumors even more explosive and hurtful to Kobe's fans and family. The speculation about Gasol as the father gained traction because of the established pattern of intimate behavior between their families. Posts highlighted parasocial anger, such as men projecting loyalty to Kobe and body shaming via fabricated baby bump claims. Gasol's involvement added a layer of taboo, as some viewed it as exploiting Kobe's inner circle. The brotherhood between Kobe and Gasol made the suggestion of a romantic relationship with Vanessa feel like the ultimate betrayal of friendship and loyalty. But Gasol wasn't the only name being whispered in connection with the pregnancy rumors. The emergence of Jaylen Brown as a potential candidate created an entirely different but equally explosive narrative. The young baller, referenced in the 2025 Vanessa Bryant pregnancy rumors, widely speculated to be Jaylen Brown, a 28-year-old NBA All-Star forward for the Boston Celtics. The Brown connection introduced elements of age gap scandal and interracial dynamics that made the story even more controversial. The Brown rumors gained traction through social media manipulation and fabricated evidence. Viral collages and edited images surfaced in May 2025, juxtaposing photos of Vanessa, 43, and Brown, often with captions implying romance or pregnancy. These manipulated images were designed to create the impression of a relationship where none existed, but they were effective in generating engagement and spreading speculation. The choice of Brown as a potential romantic partner for Vanessa was particularly inflammatory because of what he represented. At 6'6" and 223 pounds, Brown is often called a baller in slang for his on-court style and off-court influence. He embodied the stereotype of the young, athletic, successful NBA player that would represent the ultimate insult to Kobe's memory. The suggestion that his widow had replaced him with a younger, more virile version of what he had once been. The 15-year age gap between Vanessa and Brown became a central point of controversy. Brown's fans dismissed it as hate on a black NBA star. No stakeholders commented, treating it as tabloid noise. The age difference was seen by many as evidence of opportunistic behavior on Vanessa's part and gold-digging motivations that confirmed their worst suspicions about her character. The timing of these relationship speculations was particularly damaging because they emerged during a period when Vanessa was also dealing with ongoing family dramas and legal battles. After Kobe and Gianna's deaths in 2020, the family drama resurfaced. Vanessa did not mention Kobe's parents in her memorial speech, which some interpreted as evidence of unresolved issues. Her decision to exclude Kobe's parents from her memorial tribute was seen by many as petty and vindictive, evidence of her divisive nature even during her time of greatest grief. The death of Joe Bryant in 2024 provided another opportunity for public scrutiny of Vanessa's relationships with Kobe's family. Joe Bryant's death on July 16, 2024, from a massive stroke at age 69, prompted Vanessa to post a tribute on Instagram. "We hope things would have been different between our families." Her tribute was carefully worded, but revealed that the family rifts had never been fully healed, even in the face of tragedy and death. The ongoing family dramas created a perfect storm of negative publicity that made the pregnancy rumors seem believable to many observers. Vanessa's track record of controversial relationships, family feuds, and legal battles had created a public perception that she was capable of the kind of scandalous behavior that the pregnancy rumors suggested. The suspicious timing of various relationship developments also contributed to the credibility of the rumors. The intensity of her relationship with Gasol had developed relatively quickly after Kobe's death, suggesting to some observers that she was too eager to replace her husband with another man from his inner circle. The suggestion that she might be romantically involved with Brown represented an escalation of this pattern, not just replacing Kobe, but doing so with someone younger and more successful. The pattern of controversies that had followed Vanessa throughout her adult life created a context in which the pregnancy rumors seemed not just possible, but probable to many observers. Her history of family conflicts, legal battles, and questionable relationships had established a narrative framework that made even the most scandalous allegations seem credible. The stage was now set for the explosive revelation that would rock the basketball world and beyond. The combination of family betrayals, suspicious relationships, and a decades-long pattern of controversies had created the perfect conditions for a scandal that would test every assumption about loyalty, grief, and the limits of public tolerance for celebrity misbehavior. The explosive revelation and devastating aftermath. The pregnancy allegations that surfaced in 2025 weren't occurring in a vacuum. They were the culmination of a decades-long pattern of controversial behavior that had established Vanessa Bryant as one of the most polarizing figures in sports history. To understand the devastating impact these rumors would have, we must examine how they intersected with her already controversial personality and the profound implications they carried for Kobe Bryant's carefully cultivated legacy. The pregnancy rumors weren't just about whether Vanessa was expecting another child. They were about the fundamental nature of her character and the extent to which her controversial personality had the power to damage or destroy one of basketball's most sacred legacies. Vanessa Bryant, 43, has been a public figure since her marriage to Kobe in 2001. She is the mother of 4 daughters: Natalia, 22, Bianca, 8, Capri, 5, and the late Gianna. But her public persona had been shaped by controversies that made these pregnancy allegations seem like the inevitable next chapter in an ongoing saga of scandal and dysfunction. The character traits that had made Vanessa such a controversial figure throughout her marriage to Kobe became central to how the pregnancy rumors were interpreted and received by the public. Her history of family feuds, legal battles, and questionable relationships had created a public perception of someone who was calculating, opportunistic, and willing to prioritize personal gain over loyalty and family harmony. When pregnancy rumors emerged suggesting she was involved with a young baller, it seemed to confirm every negative assumption about her character and motivations. Vanessa Bryant has a public reputation that is largely positive but polarizing, shaped by her resilience amid profound loss, philanthropy, and family focus, contrasted with criticism stemming from her high-profile marriage, family disputes, and occasional public missteps. This polarization meant that the pregnancy allegations would be interpreted very differently depending on which version of Vanessa Bryant people believed in: the grieving widow and devoted mother, or the calculating opportunist who had manipulated her way through decades of controversy. The controversial aspects of Vanessa's personality that had been evident throughout her marriage to Kobe were not merely superficial character flaws, but fundamental traits that shaped how she approached relationships, business dealings, and public interactions. Her tendency to create drama and division wherever she went had been documented through numerous incidents over the years, from her conflicts with Kobe's family to her legal battles with household staff. These patterns of behavior had created a public image of someone who was inherently confrontational and self-serving. The pregnancy allegations forced a reckoning with the uncomfortable reality that Vanessa's controversial personality had always been present, even during the periods when public sympathy for her was at its highest. The 2003 sexual assault case had temporarily made her a sympathetic figure, but even then, her decision to stand by Kobe was interpreted by some as calculated rather than loyal. The expensive jewelry he bought her afterwards only reinforced perceptions that their relationship was more transactional than romantic. Her confrontational nature had been evident in numerous public disputes over the years, each one adding to a growing perception that she was someone who thrived on conflict and controversy. The Karl Malone incident, the housekeeper lawsuit, the divorce filing, and subsequent reconciliation. All of these episodes revealed a pattern of behavior that suggested someone who was willing to use conflict and legal action to achieve her goal. The implications of the pregnancy allegations extended far beyond Vanessa's personal life into the realm of Kobe Bryant's legacy, which had been carefully constructed and maintained since his death in 2020.
The rule is, of course, in life, she's supposed to move on. She can live her life and stuff like that. It's been 5 years and all that. And that's her choice, if that was true. But nigga, when it comes to morals and principles in our minds, whatever mental world that I'm in, nigga, I'm not, that's Kobe.
Kobe's legacy as an 18-time NBA All-Star, 5-time champion, and advocate for women's sports through his Mamba mentality remains robust, largely upheld by Vanessa through the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation. The suggestion that the primary guardian of this legacy might be engaged in scandalous behavior threatened to undermine everything that had been built around Kobe's memory. The Mamba mentality that Kobe had popularized was fundamentally about excellence, determination, and relentless pursuit of greatness. It represented values of hard work, integrity, and commitment that had inspired millions of people around the world. The pregnancy allegations threatened to associate these positive values with scandal, controversy, and questionable moral choices, potentially undermining the inspirational power of Kobe's message. The pregnancy rumors carried particularly devastating implications because they suggested that Vanessa had not only moved on from Kobe, but had done so in a way that violated every principle of loyalty and devotion that the public expected from a grieving widow. The suggestion that she might be pregnant by a young baller, potentially someone someone like Jaylen Brown or even Pau Gasol represented the ultimate betrayal of Kobe's memory and the values he had represented. The pregnancy rumor, while baseless, sparked hypothetical discussions on how such personal speculation could affect perceptions of his family and memory. These discussions revealed the extent to which Kobe's legacy had become intertwined with public perceptions of Vanessa's character and behavior. The possibility that she might be engaged in scandalous conduct threatened to cast a shadow over everything that Kobe had accomplished and represented. The controversial aspects of Vanessa's personality that had been evident throughout her marriage to Kobe became central to how the pregnancy allegations were interpreted. Her history of creating drama and division within families, her involvement in legal battles and public feuds, and her apparent willingness to prioritize financial considerations over relationships had created a public image that made the pregnancy rumors seem credible and in character. The timing of the pregnancy allegations was particularly significant because they emerged during a period when Vanessa's controversial behavior had already created multiple scandals and damaged relationships. The betrayal by her own mother, the brutal corporate warfare with Nike, and the increasingly suspicious nature of her relationship with Pau Gasol had created a context in which even more scandalous allegations seemed believable. Some online narratives framed the rumor as a betrayal to Kobe's memory, suggesting Vanessa was moving on too quickly 5 years after his death, potentially diluting the image of their devoted marriage. These narratives revealed the extent to which the public had invested in a romanticized version of the Bryant marriage that ignored the very real problems and controversies that had characterized their relationship while Kobe was alive. The pregnancy allegations forced a reckoning with the uncomfortable reality that the Bryant marriage had never been the fairy tale that many fans wanted to believe. The 2003 sexual assault case, the admission of adultery, the 2011 divorce filing, and the pattern of family dysfunction had all been conveniently forgotten or minimized in the mythology that surrounded Kobe's legacy. The pregnancy rumors threatened to bring all of these uncomfortable truths back into focus. This ties into broader scrutiny of Vanessa, including past controversies like family estrangements and Kobe's 2003 infidelity admission, which already complicate his legacy amid #MeToo reflections. The pregnancy allegations didn't exist in isolation. They were part of a larger pattern of controversial behavior that had characterized Vanessa's entire adult life and had the potential to force a reassessment of everything associated with the Bryant name. The controversial personality traits that had made Vanessa such a divisive figure throughout her marriage became even more significant in the context of her role as the guardian of Kobe's legacy. Her tendency to create drama and conflict, her involvement in legal battles, and her apparent willingness to prioritize personal interest over family harmony raised serious questions about whether she was the right person to be preserving and protecting Kobe's memory. The pregnancy allegations also highlighted the sophisticated manipulation skills that Vanessa had demonstrated throughout her adult life. Her ability to present herself as a victim while simultaneously engaging in behavior that created controversy and conflict was a pattern that had been evident since her teenage years. The pregnancy rumors seemed to fit this pattern perfectly. She could deny them and claim victimhood while the very existence of the rumors reinforced negative perceptions about her character. Her response to the pregnancy allegations revealed the same confrontational and dismissive attitude, legacy she was supposed to be protecting. The pregnancy allegations also highlighted the extent to which Vanessa's controversial behavior had created enemies and critics who were eager to see her fail. The coordinated nature of the rumor campaign suggested that there were people who had been waiting for an opportunity to damage her reputation and undermine her position as the guardian of Kobe's legacy. The willingness of people to believe and spread these rumors without evidence revealed the extent to which Vanessa's controversial personality had made her vulnerable to this kind of attack. The implications for Kobe's legacy were particularly devastating because they threatened to overshadow his athletic accomplishments and philanthropic work with scandal and controversy. Kobe's influence persists in NBA tributes, like bobblehead nights and motivational content, but the pregnancy allegations threatened to associate his name with inappropriate behavior and family dysfunction rather than excellence and achievement. The controversial nature of Vanessa's personality had already created problems for Kobe's legacy even before the pregnancy allegations emerged. Her legal battles with family members, her public feuds, and her involvement in corporate controversies had consistently generated negative publicity that reflected poorly on the Bryant name. The pregnancy rumors represented an escalation of this pattern that threatened to cause irreparable damage. The financial implications of maintaining Kobe's legacy in the face of ongoing controversy also became a significant concern. The Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation and other initiatives built around Kobe's memory required ongoing support and participation from corporate sponsors, donors, and community partners. Vanessa's controversial personality and the scandal surrounding the pregnancy allegations threatened to make these relationships difficult to maintain. If true, it might have invited debates on interracial dynamics or widowhood expectations, echoing criticisms from Kobe's parents about their marriage. The racial and cultural dynamics that had been been present throughout the Bryant marriage would have been magnified by pregnancy allegations, potentially creating divisive conversations that would have further damaged Kobe's legacy. The age gap implications of the pregnancy allegations were particularly damaging because they echoed the controversial circumstances of Vanessa's original relationship with Kobe. The 15-year gap between Vanessa and the rumored young baller became symbolic of broader cultural tensions about appropriate behavior for widows. The suggestion that she had a pattern of seeking relationships with much younger men would have reinforced negative stereotypes and raised questions about her character and motivations. The financial implications of the pregnancy allegations also threatened to damage Kobe's legacy by associating it with gold-digging behavior and opportunistic relationship. The fact that potential partners like Jaylen Brown were extraordinarily wealthy complicated the usual gold-digger narrative, but also suggested that Vanessa might be seeking to maintain her lifestyle through strategic relationship choices. This association with transactional relationships would have been devastating to a legacy that was supposed to be about excellence, hard work, and authentic achievement. The impact on Kobe's daughters also became a significant concern as the pregnancy allegations threatened to create a toxic environment that would affect their development and well-being. The three surviving Bryant daughters would have to live with the knowledge that their mother had been the subject of such scandalous speculation during their formative years. The controversial nature of their mother's personality and behavior had already created challenges for them, and pregnancy allegations would have made their situation even more difficult. The business implications of the pregnancy allegations extended beyond personal relationships into the commercial enterprises that were built around Kobe's legacy. The pregnancy rumors and the controversial nature of her response had created a toxic association that brands and organizations would be reluctant to embrace, potentially limiting her future earning potential and philanthropic opportunities. Vanessa's controversial personality had already made her a risky partner for commercial ventures, and pregnancy allegations would have made her essentially untouchable for many organizations. The allegations also highlighted the sophisticated nature of modern character assassination campaigns and the ease with which false narratives could be constructed and disseminated through social media platforms. The coordination between different content creators and the strategic timing of various allegations suggested a level of organization that went beyond simple gossip. Vanessa's controversial personality and history of creating enemies had made her a target for this kind of coordinated attack. The response from Vanessa herself became crucial in determining how the scandal would ultimately affect Kobe's legacy. The choice to respond with a meme rather than a formal statement was immediately criticized by some as being too casual and disrespectful given the serious nature of the allegations and their potential impact on Kobe's legacy. The controversial nature of her response revealed the personality traits that had made her such a divisive figure throughout her adult life. Rather than addressing the concerns that the allegations had raised about her character and behavior, she chose to dismiss them with humor and defiance, a pattern that had characterized her approach to controversy throughout her marriage to Kobe. The use of social media memes to address serious allegations about her character and behavior was seen by many as evidence of the same lack of judgment and inappropriate response to criticism that had characterized her throughout her adult life. The casual and dismissive tone of her response seemed to confirm that she was more concerned with protecting her image than addressing legitimate concerns about her behavior. The implications for Kobe's legacy remained a subject of ongoing concern even after the pregnancy allegations were debunked. The damage to the romanticized image of the Bryant family's devotion and loyalty had been done, forcing fans to reconsider their assumptions about the nature of her relationship with Kobe. The controversial aspects of Vanessa's personality that had been revealed through the pregnancy scandal would continue to influence how Kobe's legacy was perceived and remembered. The pregnancy allegations also revealed the extent to which Vanessa's controversial personality had created vulnerabilities that could be exploited by those who wanted to damage Kobe's legacy. The targeting of Vanessa during a period of vulnerability and the exploitation of her existing controversies demonstrated how modern digital tools could be weaponized to destroy reputations and relationships. Her history of creating drama and conflict had made her an easy target for this kind of attack. The long-term implications for Kobe's legacy would depend largely on how Vanessa chose to conduct herself in the future and whether she could learn from the pregnancy scandal to modify the controversial aspects of her personality. The incident served as a stark reminder of the price of fame and the vulnerability of public figures to coordinated attacks on their character and reputation. For Kobe's legacy to remain untainted, Vanessa would need to demonstrate growth and maturity that had been largely absent from her previous behavior. Overall, The pregnancy allegations ultimately revealed that the greatest threat to Kobe Bryant's legacy wasn't external forces or changing cultural attitudes. It was the controversial personality and behavior of the woman who had been entrusted with protecting and preserving his memory. Vanessa's pattern of creating drama, engaging in public feuds, and prioritizing personal interests over family harmony had created a toxic environment that threatened to overshadow Kobe's accomplishments and values. The pregnancy scandal was just the latest manifestation of problems that had been building for decades. The basketball community was forced to grapple with the uncomfortable reality that one of their most beloved legends had entrusted his legacy to someone whose polarizing personality and questionable judgment made her ill-suited for such an important responsibility. The ease with which pregnancy rumors could gain credibility because of Vanessa's history of scandalous behavior revealed the extent to which her character had become a liability to everything associated with the Bryant name. In the end, the pregnancy allegations revealed that Vanessa Bryant's controversial personality had become the greatest threat to her late husband's legacy, creating a situation where every future controversy or scandal would have the potential to damage the memory of one of basketball's greatest champions. The weight of this responsibility, combined with her apparent inability to modify her behavior, suggested that the future of Kobe's legacy remained uncertain and vulnerable to further damage from the very person who was supposed to be its greatest protector. And with that, we've come to the end of this deep dive. For more juicy content like this, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and check out the cards showing on your screen for more videos. Don't forget to comment your thoughts below.